Spreading all around my room, my world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the video here on the World of Juice channel, and welcome back to another episode of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers franchise here on Madden 25. Today, we have another doubleheader. Last episode, we didn't do a doubleheader because we made some trades that took up a good portion of the beginning of the video, and then we went and played the Pittsburgh Steelers. We won that game, and we stay undefeated this season. We're playing pretty well. I don't want to get ahead of myself and say this is the best team in football because you never know, but this team is playing some good football. Kyler Murray's not making mistakes. The running game is efficient. In fact, Barry Woodley leads the league in rushing yards this season, and touchdowns. So the rushing game is on point. The receivers are doing their job, even though they don't get a lot of touches. They're doing their job when they get the ball. The defense is playing out of their mind, including the defensive line, which is usually not getting very much pressure unless your name is Joe Tryon or Shoinka. But the rest of the defense line is playing really, really well. The corners are obviously always good. The linebackers are good. This whole team is just hitting their stride and playing really, really good football as we get into the meat and potatoes of the season here in the late stretch, where every game, I mean, obviously every game matters, but we really get down to the nitty gritty where these last couple months of the year really make or break what you're going to do in the postseason, if you even make the postseason. So right now we sit at 7-0. We are a couple games ahead of everybody in our division. Luckily this year we got the benefit of having not that great of a division around us, unlike last year where the Panthers were pretty good right there with us all the way up until the end of the season. But we lead a lot of categories as a team. Our defense is the best defense in football right now in terms of yards per game allowed, points per game allowed, everything like that. So we couldn't be playing better on defense, and this team is just hitting all the right strides. So we're going to go into this episode with a doubleheader against the Saints, which is a division rival, and then against the Cleveland Browns, who I'm not sure. I think they're not playing very well. I think they might, if I remember correctly from last episode, they have either 0 wins or 1 win. I can't remember exactly how bad the Browns are, but they're not very good. So we've got 2 simple games today. And I say simple because that's how they should go. We should be able to cruise to a couple of victories. But when you play the game of Madden, you never know what's going to happen in game. You never know if anything's going to be easy or not, or difficult, or unnecessarily hard. It could go either way. So let's get into the video, and let's hopefully have a smooth ride. If you go to enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe channel, and join the Juice Club. Let's go play that doubleheader. Here we are at week number 9 of the NFL season. We are going to be playing week number 9 and week number 10 today with the Saints and the Browns. We did trades last episode. We didn't make any trades ourselves. We decided to stay with the roster that we have put together right now. But that doesn't mean that a couple episodes from now we could make a trade if we need to. That is certainly a possibility with the way that our roster is constructed. Maybe we have a missing piece, but we don't really have the assets to make a move, which is kind of why we stood pat with not making a move at this trading cycle. We were looking for Max Crosby again, but we just don't have the salary cap. The money wasn't matching with the players we were going to send back to the Raiders. It was never going to work. So plus, we don't have a lot of draft capital to work with, so it was never going to be a viable option this year. So again, for the second straight year, we're going to have to look past Max Crosby and hopefully at some point get him before his prime runs out. But this is what the team looks like as of this episode. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. We've got a lot of depth. We've got a lot of youth, including Mike Hall Jr., Trayvon Walker, Byron Murphy on the defensive line, Lance Fisher, Christian Izien at the cornerback room, along with Westerman as well. Tyke Smith and Antoine Winfield decently young. Chop Robinson young. Tryon Shoinka is getting a little bit older now. What is he, 27? Yeah, he's 27. Still fairly youthful in the terms of Madden, but he is starting to get up there. The offensive line's ultra young. Tight end is young. Running back is as young as you basically can be. Wide receivers, older a little bit. We have Marv and J Mac, but Olave. I mean, Olave's young, but Evans is obviously a little bit older and he's regressing. And then quarterback is getting up there in age, but still decently young. So I mean, the team is overall fairly youthful if you think about it. And we've got a lot of potential. We're 7-0. We take on the Saints today, division rival at home. We should be able to handle them. And let's go and actually do that. So we are going to, you know what? We haven't worn the creamsicles in a while, have we? Let's wear those. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. We haven't worn these in a little bit, so we'll wear the alternates against the Saints and hopefully come away with a W. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the Saints and the Bucks. We are obviously very familiar with this Saints roster because they're in our division. We play them twice a year. And ever since they acquired the services of their starting quarterback Clyde Ankrum from the draft a couple years ago, they have not performed very well. Maybe he's just not that good of a quarterback. And remember, we actually talked about maybe making a move to get him because I liked the way that he looked. I thought that he could be a viable starter for us over Baker. We didn't end up going in that direction. We ended up going with the direction of Kyler Murray, which is not something I expected headed into this season as Barry Woodley drops that pass. I didn't expect Kyler Murray to be the answer, and I don't know if he will be the answer at quarterback, but he's got us to an undefeated season, which I guess, to be fair, is something that Baker did as well. Oh, Michael Mayer with a wide open route. Baker's had us undefeated deep into the season in his time as the starter as well, so it's not like Kyler's doing something unprecedented or anything like that. But Kyler has been ultra efficient with the football. He's more mobile than Baker is, so I can move around the pocket. You know, I like to scramble a little bit because I'm I got happy feet in the pocket when I play as quarterback. I'm not the ultra stand in the pocket type of guy. I do like to move around, but and Kyler helps that, and Baker did too. Baker was a decent runner, but he's not on the same level as Kyler. And Kyler's been efficient with the football. He's made throws. He has made some mistakes, but that's just a combination of him being a low overall and me being the guy that's controlling him. So it can be a couple of things, but he's done a lot of the stuff right. And obviously we're 7-0, so obviously he's making a lot of the right decisions. And then it helps that you've got the best running back in football statistically in Barry Woodley running behind you. And you've got great wide receivers in Marv, Chris Olave, J-Mac, Mike Evans, Michael Mayer. This team is very well put together, and they have a shot at winning a Super Bowl. I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm just going to come out right now and say it. There is a shot this team has of winning a championship. We just got to play well in the bright moments against the biggest teams, which is something that historically in this series we have not necessarily done. We've made a Super Bowl back in year number 1 of the franchise. We lost to the Baltimore Ravens. Then we lose to, I think it was last year, we lost to the Eagles, right? We got beat by the Eagles in, was it the NFC Championship or maybe the divisional round? I can't remember exactly when we lost I think it was the divisional round. But we can't beat the good teams. So that's something you obviously got to do to win a championship. As we start the game 7-0 with a Barry Woodley handoff touchdown. And that was a very efficient drive. We moved the ball down the field. We threw some passes. We ran the ball, very balanced. And we get the job done with a score. And now we go on defense, which I mentioned is the best defense in the NFL in terms of numbers. We rank number 1 in a lot of different categories. So we just got to keep doing that. And if we can keep doing that, we're not going to lose a game. That's how the NFL works. So here is Clyde Ankrum, the aforementioned quarterback that has not performed amazingly. He's had his moments. Especially against us. He's had some throws that have been like, wow, I can see why he was drafted by the Saints. But for the most part, he has not, I would assume, at least not in my standards, lived up to what maybe the Saints thought they were getting. Damian Pierce is here now in New Orleans. Was he here last year? I can't remember if he was here last year or not. I think this is the first time we played New Orleans this year. So I can't remember if he was the running back last year or if he was on a different team. I know that they obviously don't have Alvin Kamara anymore. We've had him on our team more recently than the Saints have. So obviously Kamara's not here. And I think they have, number 25, he was here last year. I do remember him, but I can't remember his name. Oh, it's Kendre Miller. That's right. He was here. Kendre Miller was here last year because I remember him being the #1 receiver. But I don't remember Damian Pierce. So maybe he wasn't here. That's going to be a screen. Get out there, Lance Fisher. Oh, great job. No! Okay, stepped out of bounds. Oh, my God. Lance, like, kind of bounced off him. I thought for sure he was going to bring him down. But then he just kind of, like, didn't actually tackle him. It was super strange. I don't know what happened there. But luckily, Pierce stepped out of bounds. Please go into the end zone. Oh, I should have grabbed it. Ah, that was a great punt. A fantastic punt from the punter. Wow, that was elite. I should have grabbed that. But I thought that Pierce was going to get brought down, so I didn't really go after him that hard. And then thankfully he stepped out of bounds right before he crossed the first down marker. That could have got ugly. Barry Woodley still rocking the Truz ability. I've talked about for the past couple episodes how we are going to switch Barry's X Factor, but it's every episode stays the same. It's still the Truz ability, which, I mean, I keep talking about it as my defense for forgetting. It's a good ability. It just makes sure that you can't fumble the football when it's activated, which is very useful, especially in this area of the field. But it's more of a quarterback ability, obviously, than it is a running back ability. Can we get this first down on the ground? It's risky to get it on the ground, but we are going to get it. The blocking was immaculate for Bucky Irving there, and we are going to be able to get the first down. Wow, I did not think that was actually going to happen. I thought they were going to shut that down immediately. I thought they were going to shut that down, but they do not. We get the first down. We survive. We're going to hit the old man, Mike Evans. Still viable, still consistent. And we will go back to the run game. Try to take the clock down to halftime. Because they'll get the ball to start the second half. But we could be up 14-0 by the time they do that. And that would be super awesome if we could do that. We'll see what happens. Evans on the field. Mayer's on the field. Marv's on the field. We're probably going to look at Evans across the middle like we usually do. He's going to sit down so he doesn't take an unnecessary hit in his old age. Don't need him to get rocked by any linebackers or anything like that. And I'm actually going to send Olave deep. Against his former team, we're going to change his route, send him deep, see if that safety plays with him. And that's an interception. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, good. If that was college football 25, that's an interception. Thankfully, he didn't react to it very well. But I do lose 2 yards on the throw. I got a little too aggressive there. I should have waited to see where that route was going to go and see where the cover guy was going to play on it instead of throwing it immediately. So that was my fault. I got a little too ahead of myself there. Kyler's going to roll. I think I'm going to scramble with Kyler. There's a little bit of space. Kyler Murray opening it up. A lot of space. Kyler Murray to the 39. That's something Baker did a little bit, but not to the effectiveness that Kyler just did. Kyler's got those little legs. He can move quick. Move a lot faster than Baker can. Hand it off to Barry. Barry, he got hit hard, but that Truz is activated, so he's not going to fumble the football. I think, what Madden was it? Was it Madden 22 or 21? It was one of the earlier, it's been a few years, but there was a game, I think it was with the Chicago Cougars. So whatever year that was, whatever Madden that was that we did the Chicago Cougars, I think that was 21. But I could be mistaken. It could be 22. I can't remember exactly. But whatever, it doesn't matter. Whatever Madden that was, I remember a game where we had an X Factor activated, and I think it was Truz. We had Truz activated, and he still fumbled. The player, whoever had it, still fumbled the football, even though Truz was activated. And I remember that moment because I remember how I reacted. I completely was in shock and awe that the ability that says players can't fumble when this ability is activated, and the player fumbled. So, I can't remember exactly what Madden it was. I feel like it was 21, because I think that was when we did the Chicago Cougars, but can't remember exactly what Madden that was. But we go up anyway, off on another tangent. We go up 14-0, and we were able to drain the clock all the way to 23 seconds. So we are able to absolutely suffocate this Saints team in order for them to not have any time to make any moves. I don't even know if they'll snap the ball for a legit play. They might just like kneel it or something to go into half, because they do get the ball to start the second half. Braswell knocks him down, and we will go to the start of the drive here for the Saints. They will actually make a play with 19 seconds left. 3 timeouts. They are going to hand it off to Damian Pierce, and Pierce will get brought down, and they'll call a timeout. Okay, so they're actually going to be aggressive here. They're going to try to get into at least field goal range, come away with some points. So now we're going to have to adjust our schemes and try to actually play some solid coverage. Call another timeout, 12 seconds left. That's the man Cheeks. Okay, legendary type of name. I'm actually going to tell my corners to give a little bit of cushion here because I don't want them to get cooked over the field, over the deep part of the field. And Chop Robinson will bring him down. It's a sack, and that's a brutal way to possibly end your drive there. Certainly a brutal way to use your last timeout. That's tough. Chop Robinson just got around that edge and was able to bring him down immediately. And final play of the game, or final play of the half, because they have no more timeouts. So we'll see what happens here. It's going to be caught. Don't let him get out of bounds. He got out of bounds. Wow. And they will have a chance at a deep field goal. This is a really, really deep field goal. I can't believe that they were able to get that ball and get out of bounds. Christian Izzian blocks it. Christian Izzian, my king. Oh my God, he saves us 3 points because I would have bet a lot of money that he was going to make that. But Christian Izzian comes around that corner and blocks the field goal. How many does he have in his career? Not just in this season. He's got to have a bunch in his career because I feel like I've said his name a ton of times when it comes to blocking extra points or field goals. He's done really, really well at that. He's kind of crazy at it. But he comes up clutch right there, blocks that one, keeps the game at 14-0. I mean, you can't write that kind of stuff. That's crazy. They get the one play with like 8 seconds left. They get down into field goal range with 2 seconds left, and then it's a blocked field goal. That's a big sack. Who got that? Is that... Ooh, that is the big dog, Mike Hall Jr. with a sack. He doesn't get a lot of those. He doesn't get a lot of those sacks this year. At least not since he's been on our team. But that's a big one. Chop with a great pass rush there. Shoinka brings him down, 3rd and 11. I was kind of hoping Chop would have another sack opportunity. He kind of destroyed the right tackle there, which I think still would be... Is it still Ryan Ramczyk? It might be. I'm not 100% sure if he'd still be here or not. We are a few years into the future. Oh, Clyde barely gets that ball away. I would consider that being a fumble. It's Mike Hall Jr. again with the quarterback pressure. I mean, if you want to say he got his hand through and it was in a throwing motion, I guess you can say that, but I feel like that's a fumble. But they're not going to call it that way. They will punt it back to us. P. Ryan's back to return, and P. Ryan will take it up and get it to the 32. That's a fine enough punt. We will just continue to take this game all the way down. Take it to the Hamptons, as the kids say. I don't know what kids say that, but I'm sure there's kids out there that have said that before. And we will try to win this game. I mean, a 21-point victory would be nice, but I'm okay with a 14-0 victory. As long as at the end of the day it ends up being a W in our side of the record, I'll take it. And I did notice that the Philadelphia Eagles are 4-3 this year. So a team that has historically had our number is not having the greatest of seasons here in, what is this, year number 3 of Bucs franchise? They're not performing all that great, even though they've been very aggressive in trading periods, trying to acquire a lot of pieces to go and win Super Bowls. Have they won one in this series before? I know that obviously the Ravens won the first one because we played them in it and lost. But I can't remember who won it last year. It might be Philadelphia, I guess. It could be Kansas City. It could be the Cowboys. It could be any of the Madden teams that simulate well. But I want it to be us. I want the Buccaneers to raise that Lombardi at least one time in this franchise, or it's not going to be counted as a success, right? I mean, you got to win a championship for it to be a success. We'll see what happens. Under 2 minutes now in the third quarter. Handoff to Barry. Barry is very dominant right now. I mean, these Saints defenders cannot stop him after or before a gain of like 6. That's like his minimum right now. He's gaining 6 yards a carry, absolutely destroying teams and destroying the Saints. Although he just got stopped there for a gain of 1. Why do I always have to open my big mouth? I always got to say something, and then they completely just disregard what I just said. And they give me forward progress on that. I wasn't sure they were actually going to do that. Forward progress given to Barry Woodley. First down achieved. We are under 30 seconds to go in the quarter. Another great blocking scheme right there for the offensive line. Barry gets up to the 14-yard line. And we'll go back to the pass. Tyrann Mathieu still out here rolling for the Saints. A little bit old, Tyrann Mathieu. Michael Mayer. Oh, that's not Michael Mayer. That's Boone, the rookie, trying to get in the end zone. He's down at the 1. That's the end of the third quarter. We go to the fourth quarter with a chance to score, put us up 21-0 on these Saints. When the Saints come marching in, they get squashed by a Buccaneer. Hand off to Woodley. He's in again. That's number 3 for Barry. He scored all 3 of them, I'm pretty sure. Maybe we're going for some sort of in-game record to break with Barry Woodley. Who knows? But it's 21-0. This is exactly how I expected this game to go. I expected it to be simple. I said that in the intro. I said that before we started the game. I expected this game to be simple. I expected it to be very straightforward, very one-sided. And it's being that way, which is exactly what I predicted. Is it going to be the same way against the Browns? I guess it depends on if we have to go to Cleveland or if they come to us. I'm not sure. Either way, I would still think we would come away with a victory. I mean, we clearly are a better team than the Cleveland Browns. That's a quick throw, and that was not me, by the way, who dove after that. That was the CPU who did that. Please bring this guy down. My God, I had him with a hit stick, but it said ideal timing. He just bounced off. Oh, it's Alec Pierce. It's the guy that we traded to get Chris Olave out of New Orleans. Alec Pierce, the former Tampa Bay Buccaneer. He was in that move that sent Olave to Tampa. Oh, Lance Fisher, you got to put 2 hands up, man. I know you got the SWAT, and you're excited about that. Put the hands up, grab that ball, firmly grasp it, and make that a turnover. That would have been elite. Oh, Chop got pushed to the ground. That's not ideal. What a great throw from Clyde Ankrum there. The tight end was wide open. It's getting a little chippy down there. People are shoving, pushing, shoving, all kinds of crazy stuff. Clyde Ankrum seems to be a good quarterback. He's got the build, he's got the size, the arm strength that you want in a quarterback. But does he have the vision? Does he have the reactions, the instincts that a quarterback needs in the NFL? I don't know. I guess we'll see over the span of his career, see what happens. But they are knocking on the door of ruining our shutout here. I'd prefer a turnover right now, if we could get that. It's going to be play action, which is risky in the red zone. It's going to be over the head of everybody, almost into the stands. Bounce off the top of the wall there. Try to run play action again. I bet you Tryon Shawinka gets to the quarterback. No, not play action, but the still could get to the quarterback, and he throws that away again. We did get to him this time, but he's able to just manage himself out of trouble there, which is a little annoying. 3rd and goal from the 4. Do they go for the touchdown? If they don't get this here, which they don't, it'll pop out of the hands of number 22, which I think is not Rashaan Salam, Rashid Shaheed, right? Not Rashaan Salam, my God. They are going to go for it on 4th and goal. And they will not get it. A goal line stand for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They were at the 1-yard line, right? Or maybe they were always at the 4. I don't know. But they were close. Within 5 of a touchdown, and they don't end up getting it. Although that didn't go very well. We lose a yard on that one. Or we gained 1 yard on it. Which is not going to help us, really. They have more passing yards than us, which is kind of funny. Barry, look at the feet moving and shaking. Nice footwork from them. And Chase Young, another guy that I debated whether to bring onto the team or not. But we're pretty solid at defensive line. It's not like we need another pass rusher like that. The only guy that I would go for is obviously Max Crosby. That would be somebody that we would go for. But he could also play linebacker, or outside linebacker if he needed to. He's a little bit more versatile than Chase Young, who's really just a down lineman. And this, now that we got that first down, we should be able to drain this all. I'm not going to snap this before the 2-minute warning. I'm not going to give them an extra... down or extra timeout, I guess. So we'll take that to the 2-minute warning. 21-0. Tampa leads. It's been all Tampa Bay from the get-go. In control, which is how I expected it to go. The Saints team just isn't very good. There's a reason they're 2-6 on the year. They're just not built for this. We'll run some hurry up to make sure they're not in a different different formation. Snap it, hand off to Woodley. He gets the first down, and they're not going to use their timeouts, thankfully. I know it's a little risky only being up 3 touchdowns this late in the game that they might use timeouts, but they don't use them. So all we get to do is just a couple more plays, hand it off to Barry, and I guess it doesn't matter how good or bad it goes. Pete Werner with a tackle there because we just got to drain the clock. It should take 2 plays, I would think, to drain this time. Hand off, Woodley trying to bounce it outside. Werner again right there. That's his 5th tackle of the game. He's kind of showing out here in the final few seconds. And we could just let this roll all the way down, but I might as well call one more play to get Barry some stats, ruin or try to get back from those negative losses he just had. And that'll be the ball game. 21-0. The Buccaneers win over the Saints. We stay undefeated. No passing touchdowns for Kyler today. Didn't need any passing touchdowns because Barry Woodley took care of it all with 3 on the ground. Very productive day. And he extends his lead as the top rushing touchdown getter in all of the NFL. We got a new ability unlocked for Trayvon Walker. That's pretty cool. And we will go to play the Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Lantis Browns. They are 1-7. And it's another home game for us. But you can see right there, next episode, we play the Kansas City Chiefs, who, if you're not familiar, are good. The Chiefs, although they did lose, they played the Rams. The Chiefs are 7-2. They played the Rams. I saw that on the bottom ticker thing during the game against the Saints, and the Rams beat them. So the Rams are 7-2, but we are the last undefeated team, the sole undefeated team in football, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we will take on the Cleveland Browns in today's game, second game of the doubleheader. It should be another simple one. Let's go and actually prove that it will be. Welcome to game number 2 of the doubleheader today here at Raymond James Stadium. Back-to-back home games for the boys. And we take on a god-awful Cleveland Browns roster who are 1-7 on the season. Absolutely diabolically bad. They've blown up their team over the past couple of years. They've rebuilt, or at least attempted to rebuild. They sent Myles Garrett a couple years ago to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They lost Nick Chubb. He just left the team. He left in free agency. I think he signed with New England, if I'm not mistaken. They don't have an identity. Obviously, they're still paying Deshaun Watson an obscene amount of money. They don't have an identity. I don't think they have Denzel Ward anymore. I think he's gone. So this Cleveland Brown team is they're in disarray. They don't have any sort of game plan. They don't have any sort of guys. You can see they have a couple of superstar dev guys on their team, at least on the defense. So they got some guys for the fans to buy jerseys of, but this roster's just not very good. And we're going to take advantage of it. We're going to try to capitalize. And maybe the Cleveland Browns are my franchise team next year in Madden 26. Think about that. That could be pretty fun, right? Because you got the whole quarterback situation with what do you do with Deshaun Watson? He simply can't play because he's just not good anymore. So you can't have, and he's getting paid ungodly amounts of money. So you're stuck with that contract unless you try to trade it and just have to eat the dead money that he causes, which is almost impossible to do. Then you have the whole interesting quarterback decision. You've got Joe Flacco. You've got Tiny Hands Kenny Pickett. You've got the 2 rookies and Dylan Gabriel and Shadur Sanders. Is Dylan Gabriel actually good at the NFL level? A lot of people who know more than I do say that Dylan Gabriel, there's a reason he's not a first-round quarterback. There's a reason he didn't get taken as a starter, because he's just not that good. He doesn't have the skills to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. Maybe he proves everybody wrong and becomes that, but that's what we could find out in Madden 26. And then obviously Shadur Sanders, who, in my opinion, should be the starter for the Cleveland Browns in real life, both in real life and probably if we were to take on the Browns, he'd be my starter in the game. That could be an interesting thing. You've also got Myles Garrett, who said in the offseason that he wanted to go to a winning team. He said he wasn't going to re-sign with the Cleveland Browns. And then he goes back on his word and gets paid ungodly amounts of money and re-signs with the Cleveland Browns. So apparently money talks, which everybody really knows that money talks, obviously. but it talked very loudly for Myles Garrett. You've got a real. I mean, the Cleveland Browns on paper are not a bad team in terms of the talent that they have on the roster. You've got a lot of really good players on this Cleveland Brown team, both in real life and in the game of Madden. A lot of highly rated players. You just have a poorly run franchise in terms of ownership, the GM, and arguably the coach in Stefanski. That a lot of these guys don't get developed fairly well, and that's going to be a turnover because I threw that a little too early. That's my bad. But a lot of the guys don't get developed, and they're going to be starting Deshaun Watson. Oh my God, we are starting Deshaun Watson here in the big year of 2020. What is this, 2028? That's absolutely insane. But that's a fun possible rebuild to talk about. You've got this is where we shut Rashad White. I forgot about this. This is his revenge game. But it could be a fun scenario. You've got the aging Nick Chubb. You've got a wide receiver room that is a bunch of misfits. It could be a fun rebuild. So the Browns are definitely the top of my list for Madden 26 rebuild teams to take control of. Also, the Raiders are a possibility because of the whole Tom Brady connection that I have with him being obviously my favorite player of all time. And they don't have a quarterback. They're going to be running, what, Geno Smith at quarterback this year. So they don't have a quarterback. They've got a good team, though. Or at least in theory, they have a good team. They got a lot of decent players. The Jags are a possibility, but I argue the Jags too often because usually they're my go-to team when I want to rebuild a relocation team because the Jags are always the team that's in talks of moving to London or moving to wherever. They're going to change. They're going to go out of Jacksonville. So I'll probably stay away from the Jags, even though they do have Travis Hunter on the team now. Could be pretty fun. Maybe I'll just trade for Travis Hunter. But I'm leaning a little bit towards the Cleveland Browns as my team for this next upcoming Madden cycle. I've had a lot of fun with the Bucs. They've been a fun team to rebuild. It wasn't a obvious choice. Like the Bucs aren't a horrible franchise or anything. They don't have a terrible team. I mean, didn't they make the playoffs this past year or get really really close to making the playoffs in real life? So it's not like they're a bad team by any means, but they were a fun team because they didn't have a guaranteed number one starting quarterback because they have Baker, although maybe Baker's making himself that in real life anyway. They didn't have a solidified number one receiver past Mike Evans because he's getting old. Their offensive line was a little hit or miss, a lot of injuries. They don't have a great tight end. Cade Otton's fine, but he's not like an amazing tight end. The defense is not as good as it used to be. Vita Vea is aging. Levante David's aging. So it was an interesting team to take control of and help this team. And I think I've done a good job because obviously we are undefeated right now and we've played in one Super Bowl before. We're trying to play in another one this year and actually win it. But the Bucs were definitely a fun team to take control of. And I'm not saying all this to lead into like I'm done with the series after this season or anything. I'm just kind of going through. I'm just talking out loud what I'm thinking about with the future of with the next Madden game is basically I'm just thinking out loud with the direction I'm going to go with what team. I haven't fully decided I really haven't even thought about it up until this video when I'm talking about it. What's the game plan? What's the team going to be? I don't really know. But I kind of like the idea of the Browns because of all the different storylines with Shedeur Sanders, with Dylan Gabriel, with Myles Garrett getting that new contract, with Deshaun Watson's contract absolutely anchoring them to being just absolutely horrible with no money. It's an interesting challenge. And I know a lot of teams, I usually like to go with teams that are bad or kind of bad, but they're not the norm that a YouTuber would take for a rebuild option. Like I don't want to go with the obvious choices. Like a lot of teams are probably going to choose the Titans this year because of the whole Cam Ward situation. And a lot of teams are probably going to choose the Raiders, like I mentioned. They're probably going to choose the Jaguars again. They're probably going to choose the Cardinals or the who else is really, really bad this year? I don't even really know. Who else is going to be bad? who else is at the top of the draft, I guess? Oh, Patriots, I guess. We're at the top of the... But I don't think the Patriots are going to be that bad this year. At least I hope. Not, in my heart of hearts, as a Patriots fan, I hope they're not that bad. I can't go through that much more suffering with the Patriots. I was too spoiled as a Tom Brady Patriot fan that these rebuilding years have been very humbling and very frustrating. I can't go through it very much more. We need to get back into dominance. So hopefully that happens, or at least it starts to happen this year. As we get on the board with Barry Woodley, Kyler Murray was a big reason why we scored that touchdown there. You saw he scrambled away from two Browns defensive linemen and got a ton of yards. And then he had another big run, and then Barry puts it in the end zone. Barry's going to break the all-time, or the single season touchdown record. He's got 18. And we still have a couple months of football to play. So he's gonna break the touchdown record if he's not careful. I didn't realize he had so many already this year. But I guess it's my go-to, just hand him the football when we get down to the goal line, which makes sense. Watson fires, and he catches it. Is that Jerry Jeudy? Who is that? I can't tell who. Oh, it's Deontay Johnson. That's who it is. And that'll be the end of the half. We go into halftime up 7-3. A little bit of a low-scoring affair, but we did take a little bit on our drive, and the Browns took a while on their first drive, so both teams kind of used a lot of clock. But we will send the ball back to the Cleveland Browns to start the second half. And with Deshaun Watson starting quarterback, they should make a mistake here. It's just kind of baked into what Deshaun Watson has become. Although Rachaad White, he's making his presence felt as a revenge game. I didn't want to trade him, but he talked to the media behind my back after we had good talks ourselves. He went to the media and he said things he shouldn't have said out loud to the media, and that it irked me the wrong way. And so we sent him to Cleveland as his penance. We got back Barry Woodley, who was drafted by the Browns, along with their first-round pick. And Barry Woodley's become a great running back for us, maybe the best running back in football at this point. And the Cleveland Browns are the Cleveland Browns. Oh, Deshaun's going to scramble in this year, in the big year of 2028, whatever year we're in. Deshaun Watson scrambling on me for a huge gain. That's absolutely... Oh, that's unbelievable. Wow. That's not what I wanted. Oh, what a throw. Okay. Cleveland's kind of dicing me up here. Deshaun Watson over 100 yards. What is this, 2017? All right, we're getting a little out of hand. We got to stop this Cleveland offense. Play action. Get to the quarterback. We're not going to. Just out of the reach of Levante David. If he was a corner, he might have been able to have the speed to get to the ball before it gets to the receiver, but Levante just doesn't have that anymore. He's not as youthful as he used to be. Handoff is to White, and White will get brought down by his former teammate Levante David. And it becomes a big 3rd and 7. All right, Chop, what you got for me? You gonna get a big pass rush here? Chop Robinson, not really the one to get the pass rush. Oh, baby. It's a big pass rush from Mike Hall Jr., who he's been impactful in this episode. We've said his name a couple of times today already. That'll be punted at the 10. Man, what are these punters on right now? We got pinned at the 1 by the Saints in the last game, and now we got pinned at the 10 by the Cleveland Browns. This is absolutely insane. Barry Woodley with a handoff, and he takes it up to the 20. I'd really like Barry to get close to like 1,200, 1,300 yards on the ground this year. I think it's possible. He's already close to 1,000 right now. He had like over 800, I think, when we loaded into the game. So if he could get to like that 1,200, 1,300 mark, that'd be very good. And obviously try to break the touchdown record, which I think is 20... Is it 24 in a season? I honestly don't remember. It could be 24. It could be something else. I don't know why I feel like it's 24. Maybe 24 is another record that I'm getting mixed up with it. I don't know. I feel like it's something around that mark. Hopefully we change it so that Barry Woodley has it. As Kyler will slide down, get the first down. See, I love having the ability to scramble with Kyler. It's a lot easier to scramble with him than it was with Baker. Baker felt like a chore, like a struggle. to scramble with him. He made good plays. He can move a little bit, but it felt more difficult, more robotic to run with Baker. When you're running with Kyler and guys like Kyler, it feels like smoother. As I got to throw that away. My God, that was instant pass rush. Absolute instant pass rush. If we send Chris Olave deep and then fire it across the middle at J-Mac, and J-Mac gets rocked at the immediate point of contact, Juan Thornhill is able to bring him down instantly, but he held on to the ball. That's kind of crazy. He actually held on to it. We hand it off to Barry again. Barry falls at the 42. That'll be the end of the third quarter. We will go into the fourth, up 7-3, controlling this game, doing a very good job, keeping this game in our hands, under our control. The Commanders are not seeming very well either. They're 3-5. The whole NFC East is kind of bad. I mean, the Eagles lead it at 4-3. The Cowboys, Commanders, I think even the Giants are all 3-5. So it's kind of strange that they're all not playing very well, as I got to throw that away because nobody got open there, unfortunately. Good job, Kyler. Keeping it in our possession, not throwing that into the interception. Don't want to force anything. Speaking of forcing something, I might have to force a scramble right here. There's a lot of room. Kyler Murray, and he'll slide down, not taking a big hit. I'm not getting a fumble here. What are you talking about? 5 carries for 83 yards. Kyler has absolutely dominated on the ground today. He's made some big moments. And speaking of dominating on the ground, Barry Woodley gets another handoff. He gets up to the 8. Do we go back to the run again? Maybe. This time it's Bucky Irving. And Bucky will try to squeeze through. Get skinny, Bucky. Ugh, I couldn't get through that gap. I saw the gap there, but I just couldn't get Bucky through it, unfortunately. So now we make it to 3rd down and goal from the 8. Do we go for it if we don't get it? J-Mac. Oh, he got pushed. He's at the 1. Do we go for this? Or do we just take the points? I think we might go for this. I think we're going to hand it to Barry and hope that he gets in. If he doesn't, it's going to be a little awkward. But I think Barry can do it, and Barry's in. Touchdown, Bucks. It's a 14-3 game. We needed that one. That was real sketchy. But Barry's in. That was close. I didn't think we were actually going to get in there. I thought they were going to stop, especially the way the play started with the Browns defensive line starting to get through quickly. But we lead 14-3 with like 3 minutes to go in the game. We are controlling it. We are absolutely doing what we need to do. Absolute domination from the Tampa Bay defense. Although, to be fair, that ball's out. It's picked up. Antoine Winfield. Go, Twan, go. Go, Twan. It's a touchdown. It's 21-3. That ball just popped out. Did I even hit him? I'm not even sure what happened there. I got to see the replay of this. So the return man's got it. Hold on. We got to see the replay. Hold on. So the return man gets it. I go for the cut stick. He kind of jumps over it. And then it's punched out by Antoine Winfield. So as he's jumping, he's in the air. Twan gets his hand in there, pushes it out, and he's the one that picks it up. You can see he kind of like glitches, and he gets a zoom and gets the football and then takes it all the way to the house. That's kind of insane. I did not think that was going to be what happened there, but Antoine Winfield with the touchdown, it makes it 21-3. I didn't think that was the direction we were going to go in. I thought it was going to be 14-3, and I'd be happy with that. But if you're going to tell me a big victory for the good guys is on the table, on the horizon, I'm not going to complain about it, that's for sure. What kind of thumbnail do we want here? Do we want something like that? That could be pretty good. No. Let's do the flexing. Let's do that. All right. That'll be the thumbnail probably. Okay. 21-3 on a fumble caused on the kick return. That was not on my bingo card for this game. But Antoine Winfield just gets his hand in there. It helped that the guy had to hurdle the cut stick. So he was in the air. He didn't have a great handle on the football. Twan comes in there, pops that ball out, punches it, peanut Tillman punch, and recovers it himself as well, and takes it to the house. 21-3 with 3 minutes to go in the game. Chop Robinson trying to make a pass rush. He almost had it there. I really want Chop to develop. I brought him into the team for a reason. I really want him to develop. He's going to get the sack, at least half a sack. He's going to share it with Trayvon. But that's a half a sack each for Trayvon Walker and Chop Robinson. What is Chop doing? What is happening? Oh, he's putting... Look at the balance of Chop Robinson. He was doing a bench press there. But he was... that's crazy. The lower body strength of Chop Robinson is out of control. Deshaun tries to scramble for the first down. Levante brings him down after a gain of a couple. And they're going to go for it on 4th and 5 for obvious reasons. He's going to throw it. It's going to get picked off. It wasn't even me that did it. Bryce Hall intercepts it, and that should put the nail in the coffin for this Cleveland Browns roster. They are dead in the water. I wasn't even the one who picked that off. It was the CPU who picked it off. 2 turnovers for the Browns in the final, 5 minutes of the game? Not even. That'll take us to the 2-minute warning. It's 21-3. They're not going to use their timeouts. At least they shouldn't. So we can just ride this game to the end and then look forward to that unbelievable challenge against the Kansas City Chiefs. I really hope it's another home game. I really hope we don't have to go on the road to Arrowhead, because that is going to be quite the environment. I hate going on the road to Arrowhead, man. It's so hard to play there. It's so loud. It's most of the time it's cold and the ball's hard to throw. And obviously you got the Chiefs who are good. Although they are on a little bit of a losing streak. We'll see if they lose this game this week. I don't know who they play. I didn't see their game on the bottom. But we'll see if they go, because they're on a 2-game losing streak right now. So we'll see if they can get off that before they play us or not. But I'm not mad with a 9-0 start. A 9-0 Tampa start feels pretty good. Not mad at that whatsoever. Great blocks for Bucky Irvin. He gets that down to the 5. That might be the end of the game. We might be able to get one more handoff. You know what? Let's not snap it. And I wouldn't even be able to because Kyler's taking a long time anyway. That's the end of the game. 21-3. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers absolutely dominate the Cleveland Browns, as you would expect. And the boys are still undefeated this season. We are killing the game. Everybody's playing well. The defense is playing the best football I've ever seen. Barry Woodley gets an upgrade point. Kyler Murray gets an upgrade point. That's awesome. Love to see that. And we will take on the Kansas City Chiefs at the start of next episode. Another doubleheader next episode. It'll be the Chiefs and the Rams. It's going to be tough. They did win their game, so they're 8-2, and we do have to go to Arrowhead. It's Sunday night prime time. Bucks, Chiefs, 9-0 versus 8-2. You don't want to miss that. Also, we've got mock draft number 2 we can take a peek at. This is going to be quite the episode. Also, the Rams are amazing as well. They were the number 3 team in the league. They were the one who beat the Chiefs. So it's going to be quite the episode next episode. 2 terrific matchups. A gauntlet, you could say, that the Buccaneers have to go through. But we should be able to handle it. That's going to do it for this episode, though. If you enjoyed it, leave it a like. Subscribe to the channel. Join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.